You check your balance before you buy groceries. Not because you want to, because you have to. This is where most people start. And almost nobody talks about what it actually feels like to move from one level to the next. Not the numbers, not the net worth, the feeling. This is every level of wealth. From the bottom, all the way to the top. Level 1, survival. You wake up and the first thought that enters your mind is not what you want to do today. It is what you owe. Rent, electric, the phone bill that is already 2 weeks late. You eat what is cheap, not what you want. Rice, eggs, whatever is marked down before it expires. You know exactly how much is in your account. Not roughly, exactly, down to the dollar. You become a mathematician without choosing to. Every decision runs through the same filter. Can I afford this? If you get sick, you wait. If your car breaks down, everything breaks down. There is no buffer between you and disaster. One unexpected bill, and the whole month collapses. But here is what nobody tells you about survival mode. It teaches you something the wealthy will never understand. How to make nothing feel like something. You are resourceful in ways that cannot be taught in any classroom. You just don't know it yet. Level 2, getting by. You have a job now, maybe 2. The account doesn't hit 0 anymore, not usually. But there is a new feeling at this level that nobody warns you about. Exhaustion. Not just physical, the kind that lives in your chest. You work to pay bills that make it possible to keep working to pay bills. The cycle is so tight you cannot see outside of it. Groceries are planned, not enjoyed. Vacations are things other people take photos of. You watch your bank account recover after rent hits, and you feel something close to relief. Not happiness. Relief. There is a difference. You tell yourself this is temporary. You have to. Because the alternative, that this is just your life, is not something you are willing to accept yet. Level 3. Stable. Something shifts. You stop checking your balance before every purchase under $50. That moment, the first time you buy something without doing the mental math, feels like breathing for the first time. You have a routine now. Bills on autopay, a small emergency fund, a fridge that has more in it than you need this week. But stability comes with its own quiet trap. Comfort. Everything is fine. Not great. Fine. And fine has a gravitational pull most people underestimate. You stop pushing because stopping feels safe. You fill your evenings with entertainment instead of education. You choose rest over risk because for the first time in your life, you can afford to rest. The danger at this level is not that you fail. It is that you stop. And the years start moving faster than the bank account. Level 4. Middle ground. You own something now. Maybe a car that isn't borrowed. Maybe a home with a mortgage that actually makes sense. You have a retirement account. It is small, but it exists. At this level, you discover a feeling that lower levels never offer. Choice. Not unlimited choice, but real choice. You can say no to a shift without panic. You can replace a broken appliance without a payment plan. You can take one trip a year and not think about it for 6 months afterward. But the middle ground has a shadow side. You can see the level above you clearly, close enough to want it, far enough away that wanting it hurts. You work with people making 3 times your salary. You scroll past lives that look like everything you are working toward. And you start to wonder if the gap is about effort or about something else, something you cannot quite name yet. That question is the most important one you will ever ask yourself, because the answer changes everything. Level 5. Momentum. This is the level where the game changes. You are not just earning anymore. Your money is earning. Investments, equity, assets that grow while you sleep. You stop trading hours for dollars the way you used to. You start trading ideas, decisions, and leverage for results. But here is what surprises people when they first reach this level. The anxiety doesn't disappear. It changes shape. Before, you were afraid of losing what you had. Now you are afraid of losing what you are building. The numbers are bigger. The pressure is bigger. You hire your first employee. You sign your first real lease. You make your first decision that affects someone else's life. That weight, the responsibility of other people depending on your judgment, that is something no amount of money ever fully lifts. And the people who handle it well are the ones who stop running from it and start leading through it. Which level are you at right now? Comment your level below and tell me, what's the biggest thing holding you back from the next level? I read every comment. Level 6. Wealth. The first morning you wake up and realize your passive income covered everything you spent yesterday. That morning feels different. You cannot explain it to someone who hasn't experienced it. The math has flipped. Money is no longer something you chase. It is something you direct. But wealth introduces a problem nobody at the lower levels would believe. Boredom. Not the boredom of having nothing to do, the boredom of having everything available. When every restaurant is within reach, none of them feel special. When every trip is possible, deciding where to go feels exhausting. The thing you spent years working toward, total financial freedom, turns out to require a new skill that nobody teaches. Knowing what actually matters to you. Not what you thought would matter, what actually does. And most people at this level spend years figuring out the difference. Level 7. Serious money. Your name starts opening doors that used to be invisible to you. Not just financial doors, rooms, conversations, decisions. You sit across from people who once felt completely unreachable, and you realize they are just people. Serious money changes your relationship with time more than anything else. You stop doing things you don't want to do, not because you are lazy, because your time has become your most protected resource. You pay for convenience the way others pay for food, without thinking about it. But serious money also changes your relationships in ways you did not expect. Old friendships become complicated, not because you changed, though you did, because the gap changes what you can talk about honestly. You cannot complain about a problem that costs money to solve to someone who does not have that money. And for the first time in your life, you discover that wealth can be the loneliest upgrade you ever receive. Unless you are very intentional about who you keep close. And why. Level 8. Generational. You stop thinking in years. You start thinking in decades. Not for yourself, for the people who come after you. At this level, wealth is no longer a personal achievement. It is a responsibility. You make decisions today that will affect people who are not born yet. Schools funded, communities shaped, opportunities created for people who will never know your name. But generational wealth carries the heaviest question of all. What do you hand your children when you give them everything? The drive that built what you have came from the hunger of having nothing. How do you pass on the hunger when the need is gone? That is the question every self-made person at this level wrestles with in the quiet hours. And there is no clean answer. Only the attempt. Only the intention. Only the hope that what you built teaches something more valuable than the money itself. Now step back. Every level you just moved through, the survival, the grind, the stability, the momentum, the freedom, the responsibility. None of them are destinations. They are states of mind as much as they are states of account. Because here is the truth that every level eventually teaches you. The feeling you are chasing at the next level is never quite what you imagined when you were one level below it. The relief you expected becomes routine. The freedom you dreamed of brings new pressure. The power you wanted brings new weight. And the people who move through every level with the least damage are not the ones who wanted the money most. They are the ones who stayed curious about who they were becoming along the way. Because every level of wealth changes your life. But only one thing determines whether it changes you for better or worse: knowing why you started. Start there, and the rest will follow. The journey starts with knowing why you started. Comment why if you're ready to move forward. Like plus subscribe if this hit different.